back to the Culturally Distinct Podcast. Your boy, DJ KO. I'm glad you guys tuned back into the show today. Today we have a great, awesome show. But before we get started, I got a couple of sponsors I got to shout out. Right before the holiday season, much love to Go DJ K-Dub. Y'all see the merch. Make sure y'all go get the hat. He got some shirts coming out. Holla at him. Shout out to Lake Charles, Louisiana. Much love to my man, New York. Harlem, New York, Seville. I got his brand on. It's called Ugly Luxury. Out of New York, he got his own clothing line out there. He does a lot of stuff with Dapper Dan and everything, so holla at my man. Much love to him. Also, my sponsor, 605 Adult Beverages. Much love to you guys. It's wintertime. You still can get that frozen drink. You can mix it with whatever. It's a cannabis-infused alcohol, so you guys can still go get that. The application over there is Drink AOP6. Make sure you hit those people up. Also, my last sponsor is Red Coral Universe. Much love to you guys. Culturally Distinct is not just domestic, but it's international. We're on Roku. I think I said it right. Roku. We're on Roku. You all know the hood TVs, the ones y'all see in Walmart and King's Flea Mart. So y'all holla at us over there, man. Much love to Red Coral. Now, guys, look. This face that you have on the show today, y'all probably seen her around Houston. Y'all seen her outside. She be outside.
I do not
but
be
not,
outside.
Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Is that a good way?
What's a good way to be outside?
Just be outside. Like open your door and go outside.
Okay. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
I be outside.
Now, if you say outside is different.
No. I'm not outside. I'm just outside.
But you outside. Okay. Got you. We got that clarified. All right. So this individual, y'all seen her outside. She got a collection of things she got going on. We're going to talk about everything, all the way from real estate to a clothing line, all the way to what she got going on for the holidays, what she's cooking, what's going down. Shout out to Prairie View University.
Amen.
You heard me? I got to give y'all a shout out.
Illustrious Prairie View A&M University.
I'm going to shoot y'all out, man. Come on, man. I'm going to shoot y'all out.
Announce us correctly now. Put some respect on our name.
How you say it? Prairie?
Illustrious Prairie View A&M University.
I thought it was Texas A&M South.
No, excuse me?
That's what I thought it was. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I went to Southern, as you know, as everybody in the world knows.
I mean, everybody makes mistakes.
You're right. I know. Y'all went to PV, I know. I understand.
Everybody makes mistakes.
But anyway, that voice that you hear in the background, everybody, that is Nikki Nicole Handy.
Yes.
Hey. Oh, shit. Don't worry about it. We've been drinking, y'all, so. So, guys. So, Nikki. What you rather? Nikki Nicole was one.
You know what?
Handy.
My government name is Nicole Handy.
Okay.
A lot of people know me as Nicole Handy, but a lot of people also know me as Nikki too. I say my friends and family know me as Nicole, and I go by Nicole on a day-to-day. But the social media world knows me as Nikki. So, I mean, I go by both. I'm okay with both. But, you know, probably if somebody screams Nikki in a crowd, I probably wouldn't turn around.
Okay, so Nicole.
Yes.
So you prefer Nicole?
I do. I prefer Nicole, but Nikki has been my social media name for years. So, I mean, I respect it. There's no disrespect if somebody calls me Nikki. I'm with it.
You know what? First thing I think about when I hear Nikki, it's a song by Prince that came out like in.
I know that song.
Pretty Nikki, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
I know
Nikki.
that song.
1984. It was.
Ooh, that was before I was born.
But I say you're showing your age if you know that song. Shout out to all the Prince fans, but Pretty Nikki, that reminds me of that song. So anybody that named Nikki, I don't know, it's like a classical conditioning. It reminds me of that.
How does it go? Like Nikki?
Yeah, Nikki. come back, Nikki, come back.
Okay.
Yeah, when he was humping the speaker, he was That's
okay.
Thing. Yeah. So look, Nicole, let's talk about it. First of all, where are you from?
I'm born and raised in Houston, Texas.
In Houston.
Never left.
Hold up. Time's out.
I'm rare.
You can't say Houston because back then it was north side, south side. Anything below what I-10 was the south side. Anything above I-10 was.
I still look at it that way.
So you were at north side?
I am born, northeast Houston, Texas.
Northeast. So you was at Crosby?
No, I went to North Shore High School.
Okay.
I graduated from North Shore High School.
That's by Channelview, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not really Houston. So you from Channelview.
Oh my God.
So shout out to Channelview.
I am not from Channelview, Texas. Okay. I am from northeast Houston, and really the east side.
Yeah.
You know, we represent ourselves as the east side. I'm from the east side of Houston, Texas.
And you went to North Shore?
I went to North Shore, graduated from the North Shore. You know, every school I went to has been one of the greats.
Yeah,
you know?
North Shore is real good.
Yeah. Great football program.
Were you an athlete?
I was an athlete. So
okay.
I played basketball and I did track.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Because, most athletes go there. They got these schools where the blacks, they go and they participate in sports, and they're real good. Not just in sports, but academically also.
Yeah.
North Shore is a real good school, so shout out to them. So you're from, I was about to say Chandler, but you're from Houston. So I want to fast forward because I know I don't want people, unless, you know what, I could get to that. I want people to understand a little bit about yourself because they see you on TV, but they don't really know, like, your childhood going all the way up.
Okay.
So North Shore High.
Graduated from North Shore High School, yes.
What made you go to PV?
You know what? To be honest, I hate to admit this.
Oh, thank you.
Southern was on the top of my
list.
I hate to admit that.
Y'all heard that. Shout out to Southern University.
But shout out to the Deltas, Delta Sigma Theta.
Mm-hmm.
I went on a college tour 1 year with them. It may have been my junior or senior year in college. And Southern told us that we couldn't have cars as freshmen on campus.
Correct.
I'm like, oh, I'm done.
Correct.
But then I went to Prairie View. They also took us to Prairie View, and I fell in love with Prairie View,
Okay.
I mean, I'm indebted to Prairie View. I'm still today the biggest Prairie View A&M alumni, on the planet. But, Southern was my first choice. But then when I went to Prairie View, I fell in love with Prairie View, and that's how I ended up at Prairie View.
So I like it, and I'm glad that you was honest and accountable by saying that. I love it. So, but why was Southern the number one choice? Like, what was Southern
I
offering?
always wanted to go to a HBCU.
Okay.
I was in high school, so even if you go to North Shore, it's a very diverse school. It's not a black school, right? But I've always been infatuated with the HBCU and the HBCU experience.
Right.
Even as a kid, we used to go to the Labor Day Classic,
Yeah.
TSU versus Prairie View and things like that. So I've always been infatuated with the HBCU experience. Not on Southern, Grambling, all of them. We would go to the Battle of the Bands. I love the culture.
Yeah.
And then so when I got actually into like going to visit these universities, then I realized, hey, it's deeper than the culture. Like how Prairie View started, because black people weren't allowed to go to school.
Absolutely.
They created their own institution.
Yep.
And I believe that if you can't join it, create it.
Create it, correct.
And so, just the root of where these schools came from and how they were created to create opportunities for people like us.
Yeah.
That just made sense to me. And so, when I got into the Prairie View, when I, got introduced to Prairie View, got familiar with, how they came about, what they stood for. It was an HBCU. That's what I always wanted to go to school for, was an HBCU. Honestly, I don't feel like I would have fit in at a PWI. Or honestly, I don't feel like I would have made it at a PWI. I couldn't just be a number.
You would have made it. You probably wouldn't have had the friendships that you had.
Well, no, from a standpoint of academic wise too, I need to be in a smaller environment. I need to be in that hands-on environment. I can't just be a number.
Well, you was a bad kid.
I
one of
wouldn't
those
say I
kids.
was a bad kid, but again, I needed that extra.
Okay.
I needed that small environment where I can just like, hey, call my professor and be like, hey, I need some help.
Yeah.
Or like reach out to some of the, my classmates and be like, hey, can we study? Like, I don't understand this. I needed that. And my mom even forced me. So there was this, at the time it was called SMET, Science, Mathematics, Engineering, Technology. Now
It's
the world
STEM.
knows it as STEM, right? But there was this STEM program that my mom was like, you're going to this program. I'm like, I don't want to go to summer school, It was the best thing she ever forced me to do because it allowed me to create so many connections with people before school even started. So, I graduated high school in May. I was at Prairie View in June.
Okay, so you was like one of those Excel students.
Yeah. So I was in that accelerated program, but I met so many kids that are still friends that are still friends. We're still friends today. But helping me start off building those bonds, building those relationships. We all had a common goal. We were all there.
Right.
Most of us were there for engineering. I felt like I was ahead of the curve because I had already met people that could help me and that we can grow and work together in our college careers.
Yeah. So how did you? I know you mentioned Delta. You was in school. You went to school. You went to PV. You was an accelerated student. Went to PV. Why did you? Or did you? Because I heard you mention Delta. Are you a Delta?
I'm a Delta.
Oh, you're a Delta.
Yes,
So what
I'm a
made
Delta.
you? What made you even become a Delta?
So first of all, I did I thought when the Deltas, I got introduced to Greek life through the Deltas and that program that I was in.
Okay.
I was a part of, their college upward bound program, introducing us to colleges and HBCUs. And then I naturally gravitated to the Deltas. I like what they stood for. on campus, just being
The
frank,
hood, the hood chicks, yeah.
Not the hood chicks, but they were the leaders on the yard.
I got you.
They were the leaders on the yard, and I do feel like I'm a natural born leader. So I mean, they fit for what I stood for. They were the leaders on the yard. They exemplified what I thought was, refined womanhood. And so I'm a Delta.
So, okay. So, North Shore, PV, Delta, graduation. Now, were you like 95% of the kids that graduate from college saying, okay, well, I'm going to graduate in political science, I'm going to graduate in liberal arts, I'm going to graduate in geology, biology, whatever, and come out with no job?
No, I had a job.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a job.
So what did you major in?
Chemical engineering.
Oh, you was an engineer? Oh, yeah, you have a job.
Degree.
Oh, you smart.
I had a job on the way I was doing that.
Okay.
No. By the time I graduated college, I knew where I was going.
Oh, chemical engineering. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, you a smart girl.
I mean, if you want to say something, I like to think so,
I thought you was like a liberal arts major or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
So you saying liberal arts people not smart?
I didn't.
No.
It's so many words. Nah.
I had an engineering degree. Yeah.
Oh, really? So you had an engineering degree, so I take it that you started working within engineering.
So I actually went into management consulting.
Really? Wow.
And my client was Shell, the oil company.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so my client was
Out
Shell.
of college?
Out of college, yeah. So it's funny because I had to wait a little while before I actually started.
Okay.
So in between graduating and starting my actual job that I had already had, I worked at the mall in between time.
Galleria?
And so I worked at the Aldo, in the Galleria. Mm-hmm. And it was funny because they're like, we want you to be a manager. I'm like, no, I got a real job. Like, this
Don't
is
do
just,
Because some people work at Aldo.
I'm sorry.
That's a real job.
No offense to the real job.
There you go. There you go.
No offense. But I was like, no, I'm moving into my corporate career.
Yeah.
And this is just temporary for me. Put a little money in my pocket in the between time. Because it was like maybe I want to say like 3 or 4 months before I actually started from graduating to actually starting my career.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's dope. Okay, so chemical engineering. So you say it took a while. So now, how long did you work in engineering before you became a realtor?
I worked in corporate. So I started my corporate career in 2008. Okay. I got my real estate license in 2012. I didn't exit corporate until 2020, though.
So you came after the bubble, the real estate bubble.
What you mean, the 2008? Yes.
Yeah, the bubble.
Yeah, the first.
The big,
Yeah, the big, what was it, depression,
Depression,
real estate? Yeah.
So, and you said you got it in 2012, but you were still working your real job.
Yeah. So real estate was my side hustle for many years. I had a lot of side hustles.
You was a hustler.
Hustle, yeah. So I sold real estate. I also was a bartender. I would literally get off my corporate job downtown and walk around the corner and bartend at this bar until 10 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm.
Where did hustle come from?
The family. I've always watched my family hustle. My grandparents, I've always watched them hustle. My parents, I've always watched them hustle.
Because that's not normal.
Yeah, but
especially for engineering.
I wasn't married. I didn't have any kids.
But still, though, all right. So I work with a lot of engineers, and most engineers have a certain way. If it's not a formula base, like if it's not dealing with a formula, they can't understand it. It's weird.
Very calculated individuals.
Yes, everything from their life all the way down to their grocery or whatever. So, but engineers saying, well, I'm gonna go to this job across the street, then I'm gonna go to another job.
Because I always feel like the sky's the limit, right? Like even in my engineering career, I can only make so much.
Yeah, that's true.
You can only make so much, and so your income, my earning potential was capped.
So money was the motivation, basically. To a degree.
Yeah, money was the motivation. Freedom was the motivation. I wanted the freedom to be able to do what I wanted to do, whether that was invest in other businesses, invest in real estate, But yeah, like I said, I was single. I had no kids,
Sky was the limit.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I want to talk about that before I get messy. I ain't gonna get messy right now. I'll get messy later on the show. We talk about the hustle and money was the motivation, but I could go a lot of places with that, but I'm not yet. In terms of that hustle, did you allow yourself to see what's going on? Like some people in hindsight, they don't see themselves. When they in it, they got so much stuff going on. Did you ever step back and look at yourself as a younger person saying, damn, I got all this stuff. I need to slow it down.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was going too fast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't feel like I was going too fast. I just felt like that I was doing what was necessary to achieve the goals and the lifestyle that I wanted, you know?
Okay. Well, that's because, that's just, I don't know. That's I applaud that. I'm gonna give you a hand clap for that because that's rare.
Thank you.
A lot of women really they hustle, but they don't hustle that hard like that.
Yeah.
Unless they got it out the mud, like they had to, like they had one.
Well, I didn't come from a silver spoon. You know, I was always taught you work hard. You know, and that's
Okay.
what I always saw, mainly in my grandparents and my parents. You know, I was taught that you work hard. Nothing is given to you.
Correct.
You know, and anything you want in life, you have to work for.
Correct. So now, fast forward to 2020, you left your corporate and got into real estate full time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was COVID, right?
Right before COVID.
Right before COVID.
So what happened is in 2019, I started to take real estate serious. I call myself, I get bored every 5 years.
Okay.
So if you look at like the trajectory of my life, my career, every 5 years I probably like switched
Something
jobs.
new, yeah.
Or, you know, did something new. So it was around that 5 year time. Actually, it was year 6 in my most recent job.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know, I'm kind of bored with this. And so it's funny because, you know, engineering, IT, technology, and all this stuff, it's very calculated.
It
It's
is.
kind of, you sit behind computers all day, run
Everything the same
simulations.
thing.
Yeah, everything the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's funny because I always make a joke that the system that I was responsible for, it was a global system, and it would be broken, nobody would know it, and I would have it fixed before the world even realized it was broken. So I'm like, I could do this in my sleep. This is boring
Okay.
to me now, you know? And I used to be jealous of the UPS guy because he would, you know, he just seemed like he had such a bubbly, you know, job. He got to walk around and talk to people and
Right.
deliver packages all day. And I'm like, I'm just sitting behind this computer all day, just like watching paint dry,
Yeah.
you know? And so,
That's boring.
yeah. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna take this real estate thing serious. You know, I'm gonna really start taking this real estate thing serious. And so I did. Like, literally, I built out my entire real estate career while I was working in corporate. I would
Okay.
literally have my corporate computer right here and my real estate computer right here. And everything that I learned in corporate, I would take that and apply it to my real estate business.
So I heard that. So I heard something like that on social media, how everybody's talking about becoming an entrepreneur, and they talking about quitting their 9 to 5.
That's stupid.
Quitting their 9 to 5 and just jump into
That's not
entrepreneurship
smart. That is
versus
not smart.
using that seed money from your
Right.
normal job
Right.
and seed your
That's
potential
what- yeah.
entrepreneurship. But that's important because I want people to hear that because first of all, everybody can't be an entrepreneur.
Amen to that.
That's one, right? So that's one. Two, a lot of people don't know how to manage everything like that. Like,
Right.
say, for instance,
Yeah.
manage their life, working a real job, then coming over here, working your entrepreneur side, right? And then the top thing, money. They don't know how to budget money.
Yeah. And in my profession, in real estate, we don't make money until we close a
Correct.
deal, right? So if you look at all the pre-stuff that happens before you close the deal, marketing,
Yes.
showing houses, you know, making sure that they're straight with the lenders, you know, strategizing, putting the deal,
Yeah.
structuring the deal, putting the deal together. You know, as a new realtor, it could be 3 to 6 months before they even close a deal. So to step away from your income producing job
Yeah.
to take on real estate full time, I don't necessarily advise that. And that's what I did. I allowed my corporate career to fuel my real estate career until my real estate career, I made more money in real estate. I never walked away from my corporate job until I made more money in real estate than I did in corporate America. Yeah.
So, fun fact about real estate, you got in it when the bubble, the COVID bubble,
Right.
was like at its peak because
Right before.
interest rates was down to like
Yeah.
2%, 1% or whatever like that. That was one. And what's the other point I want to make? Oh, in Houston in 2020, it was a fact. They said they had more realtors than houses in the city. So
I don't necessarily know if that's true.
they had more
but-
realtors than houses.
But you're right. So when I stepped away from corporate America, the world had it was like 2 weeks later, the world had shut down.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, like what am I going to do? I just quit my corporate job and now the world is shut down. You know, how much savings do I have before I run out?
Get
Then
tight.
maybe like 2 or 3 weeks later,
Get
you know what? I said it, me, my baby and my husband, we sat at home for 2 weeks. Then the feds announced the interest rate drop. And the real estate market just went crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It dropped tremendously.
Yeah.
And prices went up. People from California moved in. I'm talking about specifically Texas.
Yeah.
It was so many people from California moved
Yeah.
in. The influx of rates went up. And now those interest rates went down. Prices went up. And now we at this point now, which is horrible, and that's why eggs are
Well,
$15.
So like everybody that bought during the COVID era, I call it the COVID era.
Yeah,
right?
they're winning right now.
Prices, interest rates. They all have interest rates. Most of them under 3%. You know, we've never seen interest rates in the twos.
Ever.
Never. And
Ever.
we probably will never see it again, right? But what happened is, of course, that demand caused prices to skyrocket.
Right.
And so everybody that bought during that time, it's a little unfortunate now because they have really low interest rates. But what they don't have is equity in their homes.
Correct.
Right? Because the market, what it did is it did a correction. And so when interest rates started to go back up again, those prices started to go down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so again, they have great interest rates, but they don't have tons of equity in their homes to be able to sell,
Yeah.
leverage the equity, or do whatever. They're a little upside down right now, but you know, it's a waiting game.
No, it's a lot
Yeah.
upside down.
Yeah.
Because I know when I sold my house at a certain rate, I know whoever bought it, if they try to sell that house now,
Yeah.
they're going to be upside down.
Yeah.
Because the house is not going to be that
Right.
amount
Yeah.
5 years from this point.
Yeah, so we're looking at different options right now. Like, because they have low interest rates, they have lower mortgage payments. So we're looking at leasing options. You know, opposed to being able to sell your home right now, let's at lease your home out and at least get your mortgage covered.
Right.
You know, and then wait a couple of more years, you know, let's see how the market continues to correct. Or, you know, so one thing about real estate, historically, real estate does appreciate in value, right? We're not in a COVID world,
over time.
right? Over time, it's gonna.
If you have money to wait, a lot of people don't have money. Do you know the average mortgage in Houston is? The average mortgage.
So I know the average home price is about $420,000.
You know how much that is for as a mortgage, a monthly mortgage for a $420,000
right now,
house?
it's about $4,000.
That's
Yeah.
Who you know can afford a $4,000 mortgage plus the other bills?
Well, see, what you don't see and what you don't hear is that the luxury market in Houston right now is performing the best.
Yeah, because everybody moving here, but the people that's been living here,
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
they gotta move
I
to
agree.
peer review.
Because what's happened is the home prices have gone up. You know, home values, home prices have gone up, but salaries have not increased at the same rate. Yeah,
Correct. That's right. They said, I was watching CNN, they said the average salary to buy a home in the world, in the United States, is $130,000.
I believe that.
You got to make at least that to afford
I
an
see that.
average
Yeah.
home.
I see that every day. And, you know, it's funny because I used to have discussions with people like, you know, I'm like, oh, well, you know, I never ask, like, how much home you want to buy. I always ask how much you want to pay on your mortgage payment, because that's what the consumers truly care about, right?
$1,000.
And so back in the day, it used to be like, if you at least, like, especially if you wanted a brand new home, if you can at least come up to $1,500, $1,600,
It was perfect.
we can get you a house.
Yeah.
Now it's like
$3,500.
$3,000. Yeah. It's really like now, can you at least come $2,800 to $3,000
expensive.
just to start to get you in a home? I sell a lot of new construction.
Okay.
So like in a new construction home, you know, so like it's almost doubled.
Yeah, it's
You know?
expensive. The good thing about Houston is a lot of people have paper here, and
Yeah.
they can afford it. The thing is when they're offsetting other places like next to them, neighboring states like Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, which
Yeah.
is normally poor states, but now them prices are going up too. So
Yeah.
if I want to leave Houston and go back to Louisiana,
Well, you know, the biggest difference between Houston, Texas, and Louisiana is property taxes.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
so Houston, Texas in general, we have no state income tax.
correct.
So we get to keep more of our income in our pockets. But where we do make it up in is property taxes. You know, and so those are conversations I have to have with people that's just like buying a home, maybe coming from Louisiana, moving to Texas. They're like, why is my mortgage payment so high? Like, you know, this same home in Louisiana, I'm only paying this on the mortgage. I'm like, yeah, it's not the home
Yeah.
price, it's the taxes.
taxes
you know,
on
it's
that
the property
property.
taxes. So we do have a heftier property taxes
Unless you
a disabled veteran.
about to say you're in the military,
Unless you a disabled veteran.
you're 100%
Yeah.
disabled.
If you 100% disabled in Texas, you don't pay a
Nothing.
dime in property taxes.
So-
and that's the play. That's the win for everybody that's coming from all of these other states. That is the play.
I want you to say that again because I think they missed it.
If you are 100% disabled, if you're a 100% disabled vet, you have 100% disability status, you do not pay a dime in property taxes in Texas.
So you could get a $700,000 house and your mortgage might be $2,000.
700? No, it ain't that cheap. Maybe like 4,000.
No, it's gonna be cheaper than that.
Where your mortgage payment would normally be like 7,000, you're probably gonna pay like 3,500, 4,000.
Because they get those, don't they get those FHA loan? FHA?
No, so they have veterans. So VA. So the veteran loan is no down payment. right?
Okay.
That's one thing, right? But if you're not disabled, you still pay property taxes.
Yeah.
So if you have a disability status from 50 to 90%, you do get a discount on your property taxes. But if you are 100% disabled, which from my understanding is not too hard to get, you don't pay a dime in property taxes. I have a lot of clients that are VAs that are buying $1 million homes.
Yeah, because
and taking advantage of, the property tax, not having to pay property taxes.
So it's good.
That's a huge advantage.
Y'all didn't hear this from me or Nicole, but it's good to y'all go ahead and find somebody that was in the military, an old vet that's a disabled veteran.
If I could do it all over again, I would go to the military.
He might have PTSD, but
no, we're not taking advantage of people now. No,
he might have a little, something going on, but I'll take that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a huge benefit, and it's crazy how many people don't know that.
Yeah, I know.
When people call me and if they tell me they're a veteran, and they want to take advantage of a VA loan, my next question is, do you have a disability status? Because a lot of people don't realize the benefit that they are getting just for, but number one, not only serving this country, but two, the sacrifices that they've made, and a lot of them have become disabled because of being in the military.
For that service. Yeah. So I want to ask you this, and I know you're a realtor and you in it for sales. I get it, profit margins and sales. Is it right now in 2024 going to 25? Is it a good time to buy or rent?
I always say the best time to buy is when you financially can. When you're financially capable and you can do so. I mean, even during COVID, though, nobody can ever take your home ownership away from you. And I know it's been some corrections and things like that, but those people eventually, once they hold on to their homes for long enough, it will go back right side up. So.
So you saying buy?
Yeah, I'm always an advocate of buying over renting. And the reason why, like I said, because historically, real estate does appreciate. Unless we get into a crazy market or something like that, real estate does appreciate and it does grow in value.
Yeah.
And like I've seen what real estate has done to me personally. I bought my first house in maybe like 25, 26 years old. I bought that house, and I'll never forget this. And I still have the picture of that house in my phone, and I will never take it out of my phone because it's a reminder of what real estate and owning real estate did for me. Mm-hmm. I bought that house for $76,000.
Wow.
And I know the numbers like the back of my hand. I bought that house for $76,000. My mortgage payment was $700 and something dollars. I rented that house out for $1,400. Now, let me say this. You're not going to get numbers like this no more. Okay? That time is coming on. Ever. But I rented that house out for $1,400. I was making double off the rent than what I was paying in mortgage. Mm-hmm. That house just so happened to be an area where they were doing a lot of development. And I didn't even know this. This was a mistake. I mean, I came up on this by mistake, but they were doing a lot of development. I rented that house out for 5 years. I bought a house and put a for rent sign in the yard and went back home to live with my parents.
Okay.
I rented that house out for 5 years, and then just because of all of the development, the taxes just like went through the roof. And I'm like, this is no longer makes sense for me to have as a rental property. I sold that property. I made more cash off the sale. I made $83,000. I was 30 years old and got a check for $83,000.
You was at the
Galleria. I made more cash off the sale than I paid for the house.
Right.
And that right there taught me this whole real estate game and the law of, buying in highly appreciating areas and things like that. But that $83,000 got me 2 more investment properties. It got me 2 Airbnbs. It really fueled my real estate career. So that's why I'm such an advocate of preaching to, young professionals, first-time homebuyers and things like that about buying in appreciating areas during the house hacking strategy. Because even though I didn't buy a multifamily, I essentially house hacked, right? I bought a house and then put a renter in it,
Yeah.
And so, that's why I'm so passionate about this. So I don't care how many $1 million homes I sell, I will still always preach the house hacking strategy because I know what it did to me personally,
So as a realtor, say if you was my realtor and say if I ask you, I don't want you to take the 30%. You'll take 30%, right?
No.
Was it 3%?
So, I mean, it's all negotiable. Now, let me say this because a lot has changed in the real estate industry, and I don't want them to be like Nicole said, this is the standard. There's no standard in real estate when it comes down to compensation.
But you're going to ask. That's what I'm saying.
But you can charge. It's just like anybody else charges their fees or, for their services. You can absolutely charge what you want for your services. It's just a matter of is somebody going to pay that?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because I think, me personally, 3%, I think it's 3%.
It's so
the brokers get 12 or something like that.
I typically charge for my services 3%.
3%.
Yes.
And that's expensive on a $700,000 house. That's like $60,000.
What's 7 times 3? 21? $21,000.
That's a lot of money.
Commission.
Yeah, that's liquor money. That's tequila money.
Compensation. Let me not say the new word is compensation, right? So yeah.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. So we're gonna hit you up with some for some real estate information, and we're gonna start purchasing some properties. Do you? And look, through culturally distinct, we're gonna get 1%.
Wait. So let me back up. And so the reason why we're in this whole compensation lawsuit and everything nationally right now with the real estate industry, and why I feel like the real estate industry is being attacked, because people think that realtors make too much money. You look on TV, you have all these real estate shows now, everybody's glamorizing real estate and all of this stuff, and they just adding up the money.
Yeah.
Right? Only a fraction of that money really goes to us. If you look at a realtor, so you get the compensation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay your broker.
Yep.
You have to pay taxes.
Yep.
You have to pay all of your marketing fees.
Yep.
You have to put money aside for like your maintenance cost. The cost of doing business. I call it the cost of doing business.
Travel.
Right? Travel. So I mean, even though it looks like it's a huge lump sum of money that realtors get, by the time we allocate it to all these different buckets, it's not that much. It's a fraction of what people truly think.
So to what you just said, a fun fact. I heard this last night. They said out of all the realtors in the United States, the year of 2024, this year just passed, said the average realtor only sold one home. The average, not all.
Yeah, right.
I'm saying on the average.
I mean, the average realtor in general sells 7 homes a year.
One home.
Yeah.
I'm like, that isn't. How can you survive off of that?
You can't.
That's $30,000 you might make. Even like, okay, but
that's gross commission income on $1 million home.
Right, and
the
that's
average home is in $1 million.
And you got to stress that for the whole year.
Yeah.
Oh, you starving.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a hustle's game. I applaud realtors and people that have sales base, like pharmaceutical sales, those type of positions, because every morning you got to get it.
And the minute that you get, so what we do in our industry, I always tell our agents in our office, what you do today affects the money you see 30, 60, and 90 days later.
Mm-hmm.
So if we get off the grind today, you may not make any money next month.
Right. Yeah, and it happens that way. That's how it be happening. Fast forward. Let's talk about what's the name of it? Hold up, don't tell me. We talking about the show now. The family Empire. Family Empire, because I wanted to say another name, but the Family Empire. How did that even?
The number one question: how did we get a TV show? Right?
Yeah.
How did we end up our own?
In Texas.
In
Houston.
You know what? So I've told this story 10,000 times, and I love telling the story. But anyway, so
no. All right. So look, I don't ask the same cliche question. I want to ask this.
Okay.
What were you doing when you got the call? First of all, how did y'all shoot a pilot? How did y'all hear about it? Was it like a grant? You apply for it online?
No. So actually, somebody reached out to us. We were not looking for a show. I always say the show fell in our laps. I kind of feel like we hit the lotto.
Okay.
Because I mean, think about how many people want to be on
who
TV.
is we?
How many people? My family. Because so Family Empire Houston, it's a family show. A lot of people think it's a real estate show. It's a family show. But how the dynamic of the show came about is because me and my first cousin, we co-own a real estate brokerage.
All right.
And
Braden, right?
Braden Real Estate Group,
yeah.
Yes. So within our real estate brokerage, a lot of our family members work there. So my little sister and her little sister are realtors at the brokerage. We have an aunt she's a realtor at the brokerage. She's also our compliance manager. My cousin, who's the co-owner, her husband is a realtor at the brokerage, and then her brother-in-law is our resident photographer and videographer at the brokerage. So we are really a family-owned and operated business,
Lord.
and it's a lot of family dynamic in Braden Real Estate Group. And Braden is my maiden name.
Okay.
So how Braden Real Estate Group came about is basically, it's a homage to our grandparents. So Frank and Oscarine Braden. My grandfather passed in 2022, but my grandmother, she's 87 years old. She's still alive today, still owning and operating all of her own businesses. We've only ever seen them. Absolutely. We've only ever seen them be entrepreneurs, right? And back in the day, they acquired a lot of real estate and a lot of property as entrepreneurs. They weren't real estate agents or anything like that, but over the years, they acquired a lot of property, a lot of land, a lot of property, commercial spaces, some they still have today and things like that. And so, our grandmother really is the one who, once we said I was the first one to I want to be a realtor. I want to go to real estate school. And so she's like, y'all should be doing this, right? And so my grandmother, fast forward, she actually paid for all of her grandchildren to go to real estate school. She gave all of us the money to go to real estate school. And so when me and my cousin, who are the co-owners, we kind of really kicked it off first. We were the first two to go to real estate school, get our real estate license, start practicing real estate.
Okay.
And then the rest of the family members kind of like came along like, hey, y'all ain't going to leave us behind. They saw how successful we were in it. And they're like, y'all not going to leave us behind. But my grandmother, yeah, she encouraged all her grandchildren to go to real estate school. She paid for all of us to go to real estate school. So, of course, you know, our brokerage is named after our family.
So y'all had a compass, basically. Y'all had someone that was doing it already versus starting from ground up.
She was doing it as an entrepreneur, not as a real estate professional.
She wasn't selling, she was buying.
Right. She was buying. It's funny, you know, back in the day, black people couldn't get loans like how we can get them now. You know, they didn't have access to that. So they paid everything cash.
Unless they knew a white dude that would.
Exactly.
You ever seen a banker?
Yeah. You see sometimes they send the white person in the door,
Yeah.
you know, but no, they paid everything cash. You know, my grandmother, it's funny, they say she would ride around North Houston and she would see, you know, signs for property for sale that she wanted, and she would take the sign out the yard so nobody else could call. You know, and they would buy those properties, you know. Yeah.
So she was hustling the game before hustle was even hustle.
That's how we saw growing up. That's how we saw as children. You know, our grandparents hustling. You know, owning and operating and running their businesses every day.
So now, the family empire is rolling. The grandmother started everything. You got your realtor license. Your cousin got theirs, and it trickled down. How did y'all even shoot the pilot? First of all, this is Oprah Winfrey. We're not talking about just a regular person.
Look, when you put the in front of their name,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is Oprah. This is Chicago's Oprah Winfrey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is the up and down the weight Oprah Winfrey. You know what I'm saying? With the bad hair weed.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I'm just saying, I'm talking about back in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
This is Oprah, the one that says, you get a car, you get a house, you get a car.
Yes.
This is Oprah. So y'all on her network. How did that take place?
So again, it kind of fell in our laps because we weren't looking for a show. I always say the show came looking for us.
Okay.
So basically, there was a publicist that met actually somebody that was at our brokerage, and you know, just kind of networking. Like, what do you do? And her and her husband were into real estate as well, and he was like, you know, I'm looking to start a show, and he was, you know, find some people that would be interested in creating a show. And she was like, no. My husband wouldn't have anything to do with that. But I'm a part of this brokerage. I think these ladies would be great. You know, they have a great presence. They have a great business. And so she's like, you know, I think you should talk to them. So he came and approached us, and honestly, we thought it was a joke. We're like, you know, TV? Nah, never. You know, that would never happen. So, but no, he connected us with what we call like a story writer. And she interviewed us, and basically she wrote out a pitch of a show. Like, you know, this is Nicole, she's this of the family, this is how she could be incorporated. So they wrote out a pitch of the show, and somehow it got in front of Carlos King, which is the CEO of Kingdom Reign Production. So, you know, he has other shows on Love and Marriage Huntsville, Bell Collective.
Okay.
You know, he has a couple of shows on, and so again, we just still kind of like, you know, they messaged us and they're like, hey, Carlos wants to meet with you guys. And we're still like, at the time, we're like, who the hell is Carlos? You know, we didn't even know him. And so my aunt was like, Carlos wants to meet with y'all. But I had one aunt that was like, Carlos wants to meet with y'all. Do y'all know who he is?
And nobody knew he was.
We didn't. I didn't know who he was. And so we met with him. It was like during COVID. So it was everything was on Zoom. But he popped up on the screen. We were like, oh, shit. It's Carlos for real. You know, like, okay, this is for real. And he interviewed us, talked to us for about 45 minutes. And by the time he was like, hey, he was like, I love you ladies. I want to do a show with y'all.
Wow.
You know? And so he started sending down his, not sending down. And then we did everything over Zoom because it was COVID, yeah. But they had a casting director that came and interviewed us several times. And then one day they're like, we're going to come down and shoot a pilot. And this was like 2 years in the making. Like, people think like you just get...
It takes a while.
Yeah, people think you just get discovered and you're on TV the next day. No, it was like 2 years in the making. Excuse me. He actually pitched it to another network that turned us down. And then he pitched it to Oprah. And Oprah picked it up. And like one day, just out of the blue, after we shot the pilot, so like they would like do things and like go away, ghost us. So like they were like, okay, we're gonna we send a casting director to come interview all the family. So everybody would get interviewed, and then they would like go away for like 4 or 5, 6 months. So we're like, oh, this is fake. You know, nothing's gonna happen. But the very last time everybody just got these emails with contracts.
Really?
And when we opened the contracts, these were different. Like any other time, it'd just be like, you're in a talent agreement with the production company.
Right.
These said Oprah Winfrey Network. So we like, oh shit, you know. And
It was like NDAs, basically.
so
and
no,
contracts.
it was a talent. I mean, it was a contract to do a show that would be casted on the Oprah Winfrey Network. That would be on Oprah. And so that's when we started having to get attorneys involved. So,
Yeah.
we had to negotiate the contracts and all of that stuff. And then after everything was negotiated, they came like 2 weeks later, and we filmed the show around the clock for like 2 months, 2 months straight. And then we would do a pickup. So like, it was like really like 2.5 months. But I mean, it was the hardest thing I've ever done.
I know, because you got cameras around 24/7. You got a real life going on. You got that. Then you got probably the script going on, and they want you to go on script.
You don't really have a script, but it is.
It's scripted. It's scripted.
I say it's not scripted. It's produced.
It's produced.
Right?
I'm sorry, it's produced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
produced. It's really not scripted, but it's produced.
So,
you know?
so with that, I know you like the star of the show, right? So,
I don't claim to be the star of the show.
so you're the star. I'm saying you're the face. You're the face of the show. So
I'm a main cast member.
I understand being humble. I get it.
Okay,
but I understand how that works. I understand how production works and how they zoom on somebody else, because eventually it's going to be a spin-off show with that person by themselves. But I'm not saying that. But I already know how it works.
You saying it's not me, okay? He's saying all this, not me, just for the record, okay? He's saying it, not me.
I get you. Okay, so y'all like it. So y'all enjoy it. But in real life,
I can't necessarily say I always enjoyed it.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah, it was very challenging for me.
I'm saying, but I'm trying to figure out, how do your family get along like that? Like 24/7. I don't want to be around my family 24/7. I barely want to be around them 2-3 hours.
Shit, after that damn show.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this. Our family, I personally think we have a great family dynamic.
Okay.
I've always did think we have a great family dynamic. We're very women heavy, very supportive. I always thought we had a great family dynamic. The show did come and introduce some challenges for our family. Because I mean, being on reality TV is kind of like almost being on therapy. Some things you probably wouldn't normally talk about, they want you to talk about.
Yeah.
So it did introduce some challenges after we wrapped up and saw what everybody was saying and everybody was doing.
Right.
Just being honest. But I mean, I thought we had a great family dynamic, and I think that's one thing that the show realized, and I think that's one thing that helped us get a show, is because we had a great family dynamic.
So fast forward. I want to fast forward a little bit, because I know we had time, and you gotta be somewhere. I gotta be somewhere. But I saw that you had an event not too long ago, with the Nicole Handy collection.
Yes.
I seen women. They had sequins on. They had the flowing gowns. They had the see-through. I don't know the actual names of it. They had the crop tops. They had the open back. They had
the whole nine.
Yeah.
The whole nine.
And the main part of the show was the NH collection.
Nicole Handy collection.
That's right.
Yes.
So, how did that even come about?
I've always had a passion for fashion.
Okay.
Right. Even my friends would be like, Nicole, what you wearing? Oh, we know it's going to be over the top, whatever the case may be. But when I did the show, that's one thing that they highlighted. And then also, too, once the show aired, like, so many people would message me and be like, you had this on the show. What is that? What can you send me the link to that? Or, this and that. And I found myself pubbing a lot of brands.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
Like,
Yeah.
I found myself pubbing a lot of brands, but what I did realize is that I am my own brand.
That's right.
I'm
on TV.
Yeah, I'm
That's
on
right.
TV. I have, I've done these things, so opposed to like saying I'm going to pub a lot of brands, I'm like, I'm my own brand, and I'm going to tap into what I'm passionate about, and I think the show helped me realize that it's okay to step out, because everything I did until then was all my family. Like if there was an opportunity, like, okay, hey, we want you to do it. Well, what about my family? Can my family do it too?
Right.
So it really helped me to be like, okay, it's okay to be an individual.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I am a brand,
That's right.
and leveraging the platform that I have, which is a national platform, so I did, that's one of the ventures that I said, hey, I want to showcase my passion, aside from real estate, because real estate will always be there.
Right.
Real estate will always be there. But what else can I do for the Nicole Handy brand independently?
Right.
And so, yeah. It was a collaboration with a company called Just Be on the Runway, which is a Black-owned online boutique.
Shout out.
Shout out to Just Be on the Runway,
Shout
because
out.
they really helped me. Ebony, the owner of Just Be on the Runway, she really helped me like accelerate this. And I'm a big person, like learn from other people. You know, like had I tried to like do a whole
Fashion line
like,
what am I
brand
doing?
by myself, like,
Yeah.
you know, just starting from scratch, like, you know, that would have been a lot. So I actually learned a lot from her. She helped me curate the Nicole Handy collection, you know, and so I kind of teeter-totter with like, should I use my name and my brand and everything, you know? But yeah, she helped me curate the Nicole Handy collection. Like, and I literally, like, we would travel to like go to trade shows. I literally, like, I am big on like touching every single piece.
Okay.
Quality is a big deal to me. You know, the slogan of the brand is 3 words, and that's bold, fierce, boss.
Okay.
You know, and that's what embodies me. And I think when you look at the collection, you see some of everything. You see jogger sets. You know, you see professional attire, you see sexy attire, just being
Gowns.
honest, and that's me. I feel like clothes shouldn't define you, you define them.
Absolutely.
You know, and one day if I might want to put on a jogger set, and that's cool too. And one day I may want to put on a sexy dress, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but none of those clothes define me, I define them, but it's a very versatile line of everything that you see and everything that's embodied in me. And what I want people to, what I want women to take away is your biggest accessory is your confidence.
Absolutely.
You know? And so if I feel like if you look good, you feel good, and you perform good.
All right.
You
Come
know?
on, Coach Prime.
No, seriously, like straight up, if you look good, you feel good, you perform good. So I want women to look good so that they can feel good and that they can perform at their peak. You know, in whatever industry it is. You know?
I get it. Yeah, I like that. We got motivation. I know you was gonna start doing motivational speaking. You might just add that to your repertoire. You know what I'm saying?
Nicole's tired. The list is getting long.
You know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
look.
I see a book coming. I see public speaking coming. I see.
I receive that.
Hey,
you
look,
know,
you know
I
what?
receive all of those things in due time.
Yeah,
like,
right.
you know, I
'Cause you got a
receive
lot
all
going
those
on
things
right
in
now.
due time. Yeah.
Question for you before we get out of here. I got a couple of questions, but I want to ask you this: what makes you happy? What makes you genuinely happy? You can't say kids and family.
What makes me genuinely happy? Whew. You know, I think the reason why I got into real estate,
Okay.
you know, and that's you know, people say I give too much. You know, but seeing others fulfill through what I can help them with, you know, I think that genuinely makes me happy. You know, like it's funny because I mean, I'm just whoever I am, but like I get on social media, I cry.
Okay.
You know, I tell testimonies, and I'm not talking about myself. I'm really talking about my clients and the people that I work with. You know what I'm saying? Like helping others achieve
You
their
care.
goals. You know what I'm
You
saying?
care.
Yeah, like helping other people achieve.
You crying
You know, no, I'm not crying.
Oh.
But helping others achieve what I have essentially been able to achieve.
I'ma
You
cry
know,
too, now, don't
helping
cry.
them get to the next level, helping them, you know, embody who they really are. Like it's so many people that come to me and be like, you know, I was so scared to do this, and I'm like, why? You're so great at it. You know,
Right.
like I feel like fear holds a lot of people back from being our greatest potential. You know, and like it's so many people that are great at so many things, and they just don't see it in themselves.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, so I think what makes me happy is seeing other people be fulfilled through what I can help them with. You know? Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Next question.
All right. What's the next question?
Is
Lay it on me.
Isn't that messy? Isn't that messy? Well, I should go messy. I'm not gonna do that. So
Oh, honey, I'm here for it all. Okay.
I'm not gonna do that. So who pours into you?
That's tough. You know, that's tough. I say my mom pours into me.
Because you do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, my mama has always. My mama has always told us how great we were. You know, me and my sister, regardless of how great we truly were. You know, my mom has always told us the sky's the limit. You know, you are this, you are that. You know, you can achieve anything. My husband does a great job at being a husband. You know, because I do also feel like it's kind of tough being with somebody like me. You know, being honest.
I'm going there
you know?
next. I'm going there next.
Yeah. You know, I think it kind of be tough. So my husband, and I think my husband has learned how to pour into me. You know,
Okay.
we got together young. We've been together 20 years, married 10.
Okay.
So, you know, we got together. We were not the people that you see today.
Right.
You know, but I think I do also have to look to be poured into. You know, I listen to a lot of motivational things. I talk to. I have friends. You know, I seek out friends that are or people, colleagues that are on the same level. Because and when you get to our level, you do spend a lot of time pouring into others.
Absolutely.
You know, and sometimes when you pour into others, it's not a bad thing, but your tank can be emptied.
Absolutely.
And so, like, who fills your tank?
That's right.
You know, so I do sometimes have to seek out people to fill my tank. You know,
Got you.
seek out ways to get my tank filled and things like that. But a lot of times, you know, it's people that's doing what I'm doing. You know, we have the same trials, we have the same triumphs. You know, yeah.
You mentioned that you do a lot, right? And you do a lot, and you are married, right? You're married to a man.
Yeah.
I gotta make that clear. You know, married to a man.
Yeah. Married to a man.
In 2024, it's been this discussion and these talks about women that want to get married. They're women wanting to get married, but they're not a wife.
What's the definition of a wife?
That's what I'm gonna ask you.
You know?
I'm gonna ask you that.
Yeah. You know, what's the definition? I think the wife does look different nowadays.
Okay.
You know, if you look at like our parents and our grandparents, the wife was the stay at home, the one who took care of everything, you know, cooked every day. You know, I know my grandmother cooked a meal every single day. My husband, mama, still cooks a meal every single day. You know, my husband just straight up told me, I know you're not going to cook every. Thank you for recognizing that, you know.
He's a good brother.
But I think, you know, the definition of a wife has changed, right? I still do believe in being submissive to your husband.
Okay.
You know, I do, right?
Define. Hold up. Put a pin in it right there. Submission.
What is submission?
What is submission?
So,
for you, your definition of submission.
So my definition of submissive is, you know, number one, being respectful.
Okay.
You know, and still being respectful. I think, like I said, it takes a lot to be with a woman like me. You know.
But you say you were submissive. That's what I'm saying. So
because I understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I understand what my husband, you know, what fulfills him.
Okay.
You know, and so I think that's being submissive, understanding what fulfills your spouse, and you know, and working towards what fulfills them. You know, and so like I ain't gonna lie, my husband has had to, you know, we've been in rooms where like people are like, oh, you married to Nicole, step out the way, you know, and if you're not a strong man, they could do something to you.
Absolutely.
You know, but you know, my husband genuinely wants to see me succeed. You know.
Right.
You know, and so I think sometimes he's okay with stepping out the way now. You know, because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's for the greater good. I always look at it as for the greater good of our household. You know, anything that I benefit from, my husband benefit from, trust and believe.
Hey,
you know?
That's rare, though.
You know, but no, straight up. You know, if I'm winning, my husband winning. And so I don't think he's always had that mentality, but over time as we've grown, he realizes that, you know, when my wife wins, I win. So I'm going to do everything that I can to support her. And the same way, you know, my husband, he don't have an entrepreneurial spirit. He don't want nothing to do with it. But he's a damn hard worker. He show up and go to work every single day.
That's right.
You know, and so, you know, fulfilling him in that manner, you know, we're not in competition with one another either.
See, that's important. See, one, I figure that you was raised right by the way you're speaking. I'm gonna say right. You're raised in a traditional household.
I was, yeah.
Two, earlier you mentioned that you are a giver. So most women that are givers, that have that giving spirit, they understand the assignment.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll say this. I don't necessarily think me and my husband always understood the assignment. You know, that took growth.
Absolutely.
You know, when I walked away from corporate America, my husband was like, "Are you crazy?" Like,
right.
No, seriously.
We need that.
We need that security. We need, you know, you get a paycheck every 2 weeks. You got great benefits. You got a 401k. You know, what the hell is wrong with you?
Right.
You know, and so I don't even think he saw the bigger picture at that time. But again, as we grew, you know, he's like, "Oh, this is great for you. You are so much happier." You know, so but no, yeah, it took some. I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't proclaim to have a perfect marriage. You will see that on the show. My marriage is not perfect. We are not perfect people. I say we perfect for each other.
Yeah.
You know, but we are not perfect people, and it took a lot of growing, learning each other. I think we got it good now. You know, I think we do have it down pretty good now, but it took a lot of growing and learning each other and being unselfish and putting our pride to the side. You know. Yeah,
that's words of wisdom for the people that want to get married and the people that's married or on the potential of breaking up, divorcing, or whatever. Not saying that marriage is the ultimate key, because a lot of people don't want to get married. But
yeah, that's true too. A lot of people don't want to be married.
But
either anymore.
to those who want to be married, to those who want to be in a committed relationship with someone, it takes a lot of sacrifice.
The key word, sacrifice.
Sacrifice and self accountability.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to get on my soapbox with that. Last scenario, last question before we get out of here. Before we get the Nicole Handy's handles and everything. I got a scenario. You ready?
Okay, I'm listening.
Say we was together, right?
Mm-hmm.
We went to the casino.
Uh-huh.
You spent your money, you lost, whatever. I'm at the craps table gambling. I give you $500 because I'm gambling. I'm like, just here, take $500.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, you wind up winning $150,000.
Okay.
Off that $500.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with the money?
It goes into our household.
You don't give it all back to him?
No, it goes into our household. No, absolutely not. It's for the greater good of the household. Now, of course, if he asks for something, yeah, absolutely, but it goes into our household.
Okay. So you don't give it all back to him. Be like, hey, baby, here, I won this.
No. Hell no. You didn't want Nicole Handy now. I'm still very much a realist now. No, absolutely not. It's going to go into our household.
That's fair.
It's going to benefit all of us in our household.
That's fair. Yeah. That's fair. So
we might have a project or something we need to do at the house.
We. See, I said we.
Yeah, we. It becomes we. Yeah.
I'm like, here, babe, take that, honey. Go ahead. You won?
It goes into our household.
And he like this here. Can I get my money back?
No, it's going to be a mutual agreement on what's done with the money. No, absolutely not. I give him his $500 back. No,
right. You give him $500. You keep the rest, right? So look, before we get out of here, look, give the information where we can find the show, where we can find the clothing, and also for real anything with real estate.
Okay, absolutely. So where you can find me? So I am on all social media platforms. You search Nicole Handy, you Google Nicole Handy Houston, you're more than likely gonna find me. My handle on Instagram, which is I'm the most active on, is Mrs. MRS Nikki Nikki Handy Handy. Again, you can also find me on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I mean, not Instagram, and YouTube. So Family Empire Houston. So we wrapped up our season in June 2024, but we are now streaming on HBO Max. So you can go look at all of the.
All right.
Yeah, the first season. You can look at the entire first season streaming on HBO Max right now.
Okay.
And Nicole Handy Collection. So the Nicole Handy Collection, my newest venture and my newest baby, you can find that on justbeonthernunway.com. So you can shop exactly how it sounds, but you can shop the entire Nicole Handy Collection on justbeonthernunway.com.
There we go. And look, I'm gonna put all the links and everything in the bio. Guys, man, I'm glad you guys tuned into the show, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Everything was awesome. If you see Nicole anywhere, she could be at Joey Uptown. She could be in the Galleria. She might be in a strip club. Make sure y'all say hello, get a hug.
You won't see me in a strip club, but yeah, I got a funny story real quick.
Go ahead.
It's funny when I first met you, because we were out. I was out when I first met you, yeah, and I was sitting down. I was sitting down next to you.
Yep.
We're just kind of wrapping it up because we had some mutual friends and stuff like that. And these ladies were like, "Can I take a picture with you?" And this and that. So after the first time you didn't say nothing, the second time you said nothing, but I tell everybody this story. You like, who the fuck are you?
Right.
Like,
people kept asking for your autograph. I'm like, who is this? I'm like, what? I was sitting next to Ashley. I'm like, Ashley, who is this lady? You they come to say, look, can I have your autograph? Can I have a hug? I'm like, who is this? So I didn't know because I don't watch TV. But
I tell everybody that story. Like every time I ask, like, how do you know? I was like, it's really funny how I know him and how I met him. Yeah.
So that was good. But she was outside that night. Outside.
I was outside. Well, again, you won't see me at the strip club. Nothing against the strippers. Just not my lane.
Hey, nothing wrong with strippers.
Nothing.
We trying to get the strip club in the church.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story.
There's plenty of church members that go to the strip club too. So no foul.
And preachers. But anyway, that's a whole nother podcast. But we gonna do that, guys. Look, man, I appreciate you guys tuning into the show, man. You already know where to find me at Closely Distinct Podcast. Hey, make sure that you go hit up Nicole on all the websites. Make sure y'all go ahead and buy a house if y'all got $400,000 plus. You can pay a $4,000 mortgage. Make sure you get up on Nicole with that one. Yeah, man, but I appreciate you guys tuning in to the show. I love you guys, man. What else I got? Oh, yeah, sponsors. Go DJ K-Dub, Ugly Luxury. What else I got? What other mother sponsors? Let's see. 605 Adult Beverages. There we go. 605 Adult Beverages and Red Coral Universe. Much love to you guys. As we leave 2024, guys, I want you guys to remember that as we leave 2024, 2025 is something special and different. So before we get out of here, I want you to give one word for the people leaving out 2024 going into 2025?
One word.
One word.
Dang, one word. Ugh.
That look, it combinates
I don't
your
have
whole
one
year.
word. I don't have one word, right? But I do have one saying.
Go ahead.
This is my favorite saying: is everything you want is on the other side of fear. Fear holds so many people back from being great.
I like
You
that.
know? So if you can get over your fears and conquer your fears, is endless.
I like that. Preacher. I see a preacher, a missionary at the strip club. Anyway,
Missionary.
guys,
No,
we gotta,
no strip club. I do not go to the strip.
guys, we gotta get out of here, guys. Mr. DJ KO, I love you guys, and you can't do nothing about it. Peace. And that's a wrap.